The Stage 1 finals of the Overwatch League 2019 season are over, and the Vancouver Titans are your champions. After an amazing back and forth series that went to all 7 maps, we finally saw Vancouver edge out San Francisco when it mattered most. So let's go through the series map by map and see the route the Titans had to take to achieve their first Overwatch League stage crown. The first map saw the two teams go head to head on Nepal in a contest that really set the tone for the whole series. Like a heavyweight boxing match, they traded heavy blows back and forth, but the Titans, after securing the village point first, pressured the Shock into wasting their ultimates as they took the lead. I did worry at this point, given this series would likely be decided by who won these neutral, even fights, and after superior ultimate management, Vancouver won the village point 100-0. From this point on, however, it looked like San Francisco kicked into gear on Nepal, beginning with Sanctum. On multiple occasions they were able to punish Bumper's over-aggression, with fantastic performance from both Moth and Violet, who always kept the Shock at a positional advantage. With the team 100-0ing Sanctum in reply, it came down to Shrine to see who would take the first map, and the Shock seemed to have the edge when they again capped the first point. Yet with the two teams trading poke, it finally looked as if we'd get our first point flip in the next engagement, as Vancouver came in at around 30% with significant ultimate advantage. They grabbed San Francisco for what should have been an easy fight win, with only a sound barrier defense ultimate, but then Super hit a massive 5-man shatter that not only saved his side, but then set them up to counterattack and win this critical teamfight. This would symbolise the Super vs Bumper duel for most of the match, as the Titans could not find a response and ended up down 1-0 early. Vancouver now had the choice of map, and they went with Numbani, which they would be defending first. This defence suggested that the team had finally switched on themselves. They were focusing down Super, Sinatra and Rascal on the front line very effectively, usually killing them as they used successful ultimates, which immediately stifled the Shock's attacks. After the 4 minutes expired, San Francisco had failed to capture the point, leaving the Titans only needing one fight win and 40% of the point to win map 2. Again, the Shock looked impressive, with Moth repeatedly booping his opponents out of position, and Super dominated for 2 minutes on the high ground choke. Unfortunately, cracks finally appeared in this brave defense, as a combination of ultimates finally forced Vancouver onto the point, before Slime cleaned up with 3 final bows on the backline as they tied up the series 1-1. Map 3 on Anubis was San Francisco's map choice, and initially it looked like it had been the wrong one, as Violet became particularly guilty of using his transcendences in fights moments after his teammates had died, leading to multiple failed engagements. With only one fight left, it came down to a great shatter Diva Bomb combo from Super and Choi Hyobin to break through the first point, with Choi even managing to pick up a 3rd kill in pilot form on a remaking Diva. With Vancouver seemingly stunned by this, the Shock sped on to the next point, punishing Twilight out of position, before managing to cap the second point in roughly 30 seconds, to leave them with a good time bank of 3.5 minutes. Although this appeared to catch the Titans off guard, finishing the map still seemed very reasonable for them, after they comfortably took the first point, leaving them with a time bank of 6 minutes. Yet on their attack of the second point, they found themselves in many positions where they should have completed the map, but instead couldn't stop the contest on the point due to poor target focus. This allowed Moth at one point to arrive just in time with a clutch sound barrier and boop to save his team, and in turn allow them to turn the fight around. Vancouver did manage in the end to complete the map, but with an inferior time bank, so came out on attack again. They blitzed through the first point and looked to be doing the same on the second, before Violet got 2 picks before saving Sinatra with his trans, to swing the momentum back to the Shock and stop any more progress from being achieved. San Francisco knew they had roughly 4 minutes to capture point A and 60% of B, and Super looked to take control like a true Giga Chad. They completed point A after he hit another 4-man shatter. With the map on the line in overtime, his last second shatter on Bumper in a Graviton set up Choi for a 3-man bomb, as Shock wiped Vancouver to win the map and retake the lead at 2-1. The choice of escort map went back to the Titans, who selected Dorado, but so far this stage has been one of San Francisco's worst maps. And this clearly showed, as the contest wasn't really that close. After just managing to pass the first checkpoint of the map with all of their ultimates, the Shock's offense was stuffed by Bumper and co. just before the second checkpoint. Vancouver once again blitzed out of the spawn, pressuring San Francisco away from the choke due to some clever rotations, before quickly reaching their first checkpoint. With plenty of time still remaining and all the momentum with the Titans, Super tried a high-risk flank play that failed to achieve any real success, as Vancouver rolled quickly to their objective, once more levelling the series at 2-2. At this sort of halfway stage, we could see a pattern emerging in how the maps were playing out. The two teams, when evenly head-to-head, seemed to be equally matched on 3-3, but whenever Shock would choose the map, they would just narrowly edge out, whilst on the other hand, Vancouver's choices were resulting in easy map wins. Some now had doubts as to how long this success could last for the Shock, but from a positive angle, they had two factors in their favour. The first being that if they continued the trend, they would have Game 7 map choice, and the second, more importantly, being that as I predicted, they were simply beating the Titans in more of the critical clutch moments that had been their major issue last time round. Game 5 therefore was massive as we reset the map rotation and San Francisco chose Ilios, with the winner gaining the choice of map 7 if we needed to have it later. On the lighthouse point, Belucio's Slime and Moth took control with key environmental kills on Zenyatta's that were crucial to each side flipping the point. This control map was fought over much more than the pool, but in the final fight, a Sinatra grab gave the Shock the edge heading into ruins. Here, San Francisco looked to be putting on the pressure, gaining 99% before a grab shatter combo finally switched the point in the Titans' favour. But some highly questionable ultimate management threw away a great chance for the Shock to win the map, as the Titans managed to get the remaining 100% and send us to a deciding round on well. Initially, an Orisa McCree comp gave Vancouver the edge over the Shock's Winston Goats, but a crucial point flip in the middle of the team fight slowed down this advantage, and with both sides at basically 99%, it came down to one final fight for the map, with both sides now mirroring. Despite being hit with a Graviton, San Francisco managed to yet again clutch out the fight in its final moments to restore their lead once more at 3-2. Now at championship point, the San Francisco Shock were one map away from a Stage 1 title, and their first attempt would be on a Vancouver chosen map, Kings Row. The map had come down to an extremely fine margins in their last meeting. Shock came out on attack with a buzz of energy as they powered through the first two checkpoints with a decent amount of time left to capture the third. Yet behind Haxel, the Titans began to really focus on Choi Hyobin and either catch him out of position or simply deal so much damage that would force him to retreat and be unable to create space on the front line. One moment of pressure at the end of their attack ruined the Shock's strategy for a Grav Bomb combo, as Vancouver finally won a clutch fight of their own to hold San Francisco to just before the end of the map. On their own attack, Haxel again stood out as he almost single-handedly won the first point after stunning Moth during his down barrier animation. From here, the team kept in fashion with their usual map pick dominance, having little trouble marching beside the payload to the next two objectives as they completed the map and forced out a deserved Game 7 for this amazing series. This escort map would be the decider, with pretty much no chance of there being a draw. With it, the Shock chose Rialto, as Vancouver looked to repeat their Korean contenders' success, having tripped up twice before in Game 7s of Apex Finals. San Francisco led us out on attack, and in keeping with his incredible performance all day, a huge super shatter saw to the first point capture. Then Sinatra surprised the returning Titans with an early grab that not only wiped them, but allowed the Shock to get the payload around one of the hardest spots to attack in Overwatch, in the second section 90-degree corner. This set them up with plenty of time to finish the map, a very hard feat to achieve, which after a few eco pushes they impressively achieved in just under 2 minutes to take hold of all the momentum. But when it finally looked like Vancouver were in a hole, they removed their limiters, kicked to the engine and dictated the tempo in dominating fashion. Before we knew it, they had smashed Shock in 2 quick teamfights to take the first section, before surviving a grab at the corner to leave themselves with an astonishing 5.5 minutes to take the last section. It looked as if San Francisco were like a rabbit caught in headlights, and were stunned. The same as Super, who was hit by Haxor's Brig as a Diva Bomb came in to keep the Shock firmly on the back foot. Seconds later, Vancouver had finished the map in an unbelievable and record-setting time of 3.5 minutes, a full minute quicker than a previous record. With almost 3 minutes difference in time banks, the reality of the situation began to settle in. The Shock's performance in this series and map had been great, but Vancouver's temperament and performance when it mattered most was historically great. Reaching only the end of the first section, Vancouver had over 4 minutes to match. As they had been throughout the entire series, San Francisco fought to the end, but despite losing the Rhine Jewel throughout the whole series, Bumper got the last laugh as he hit a 4-man shatter to wipe the Shock and bring Vancouver the Stage 1 title. This series was outstanding from start to finish and a fantastic way to hopefully, fingers crossed, cap off the GOAT's meta. It showed two teams that had mastered the best style of play, with all of their players playing at the peak of their performance. In the end though, it came down to final experience of the Titans to lead them to victory, and in my opinion, Slime and Haxor were their main stars. Shock fans should not at all feel disappointed in the way their side performed despite the defeat, as I think Yotta Chad Super gained an enormous amount of respect for what was one of the best Reinhardt performances in a series that I have seen, and Moth yet again highlighted how in my eyes he's been one of the best players of any teams throughout this whole stage. With Stage 2 only a week and a half out, both of these teams will hope to attack this new meta with an incredible amount of momentum, so will look to reach stage playoffs once more, and Vancouver will look to extend their unbeaten run. With that, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'd just like to quickly thank all of you guys for the support of late as we continue to grow, with special thanks to ATP Overwatch for the shout out as well. With no games for a few days, the next couple of uploads will be more spread out and more focused on analysis and news, so please like and subscribe for this content and more so you don't miss out.